Good morning.
Hey.
It's like 4 o'clock. So, we promised my friend Leanna, who is actually traveling today from Washington to Disney World, that we would have this video out before her trip. And then we kind of realized that the video we shot last week in the empty apartment was kind of like echoey.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have our bed. We have some furniture and things and lots of boxes right now in here. So we thought the sound might be better, so we would just do a quick redo. So this is going to be, I'm going to try to go as fast as I can. 13 tips and tricks for your first Walt Disney World visit. So the first thing I'm going to say is download the app and use the website. It's going to be so useful if you're planning at home before your trip to use the website as much as possible, because the website is a lot easier to use than the app. But when you're in the park, so useful to have the app because you have everything there. Your reservations are there, FastPasses are there. I'm going to get to these things in a minute. Dining reservations, wait times for rides. Mm-hmm. It's really just super useful.
It's, while you're in the park, it comes in handy. And there is one thing that I want to mention is that it does run in the background a lot, so it does use up battery power. So
we're going to talk about chargers a little later in the video, mm-hmm. but it's true. So number 2, FastPass. So this is one that is important for a lot of people that I know coming from Washington. They've never been to Disney World. They've been to Disneyland. They don't have the FastPass system in Disneyland. So FastPasses are, there's 2 different lines for rides. There's the standby line where you can just walk up and get in line. And then there's a FastPass line where you can save your place in line 30 days in advance, or if you're staying at the resort, 60 days in advance. And that's how you're going to get to skip the line for some of the really hard long wait rides. Mm-hmm. So basically, you book your FastPasses as soon as you can. If you're staying at the resort, set an alarm 60 days before. Try to get those hard to get rides. Same thing goes for if you're not staying at the resort. As soon as you can, 30 days out, try to nab the... So it's going to be, at Magic Kingdom, it's going to be the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Peter Pan. Those are going to be the hard to get tickets, and then whatever else that is important to you. The secret with Fast Passes is whatever time you plan on getting to the park, line them up for as soon as you get to the park, those first 3. Because as soon as you use those first 3, then this is where the app comes in handy. You can go in the app and then you can get another Fast Pass and another Fast Pass. The way the Fast Passes are set up, you can only in advance do it for one park. So you have to use all 3 for the same day in the same park. A different day, you can do a different park. But once you use those first 3 Fast Passes, then you're free to go to another park. If you're a park hopper, you can go, oh, hey, there's a Fast Pass for the Rock and Roller Coaster at Hollywood Studios. Maybe we're done for today in Magic Kingdom. It's too crowded. Let's go over there. And you can do some Fast Passes over there, or however. When you use that next Fast Pass, then you're eligible for another one. So that's why the app's really handy, because otherwise I'm not sure that there's much of a way to do that. There may be some workarounds when you're in the park that I'm not aware of.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've never really used the kiosks because they have those, but
I don't know. The third is dining reservations. So the cool thing about dining reservations is you can book these 6 months in advance. You don't have to have your tickets purchased. You don't have to be staying in a resort. You can get those hard-to-get reservations, which are going to be Our Guest in the Magic Kingdom, Cinderella's Royal Table in the Magic Kingdom. There's a few others, but those are the big 2. Mm-hmm. The Cinderella's Royal Table is in the castle. You actually get to go and dine in the castle, and they have all the princesses there for you to mingle with, which is really nice if that's of interest to someone in your party, because character meets in the parks, the lines can be very long to meet those characters. So anytime you have an opportunity to maybe have a meal that's like a character interaction meal, is really nice, because you're kind of like hitting 2 points there. Like, you're getting fed and you're going to get to meet like 7 or 8 characters, and they are very fun. And even though most of them don't talk, well, the princesses talk, but the ones that are characters like a Tusker House, it's all the like Safari, Mickey and friends, they're cute.
Goofy was fun. He wanted to dance. But yeah, they have to. Oh well, they go to every table. They literally do have to go to every table. But yeah, it
And they
sounds like they're forced.
like, well,
They kind of are. But
yeah. When we were at Tusker House, then they came around for a second round, and we were like, oh hey, hi again. Now that we're buddies.
yeah.
I was just talking to somebody on their live stream last night. That we've never. Have you ever interacted with any of the talking
Not out.
characters?
Well, the Jawas at Hollywood Studios during Star Wars weekends, I interacted with them.
Well, they don't
once or
really
twice.
talk, though.
They make they speak the Jawese or whatever.
Apparently, from what we have just recently found out in the last 24 hours, some of the best characters, if that is your thing, and you want to stand in line, Gaston, I guess, he has a very long line to meet him, but apparently it's a payoff. We were watching a video last night. He's very funny, and people seem to enjoy that one.
We saw the line in person the last time we were there. It was
Yeah,
pretty long.
yeah. So, that's up to you, but getting a dining reservation at one of those with characters is a good way to get a whole bunch of characters, done a meal, and then you can kind of work on your park experience. Okay, number 4. So this is basically like stuff to pack. So this is clothing, bags, weather protection. So common sense clothing, be comfortable. Check the weather before you go. A lot of people assume that it's always hot in Florida. It's a sunshine state. It never rains. If it's the summer, it literally rains every single afternoon. So make sure you have a very lightweight umbrella. A lot of people will buy ponchos. You can get them at the drugstore, like super cheap, and bring those and pack those. There's also some rides that say you may get wet, like Splash Mountain, or even Pirates. Sometimes Cannonball will splash you. So I've seen a lot of people wearing ponchos on Splash Mountain because you do get a little bit soggy. Thomas got a little bit soggy the last couple of times.
Not from the drop, but from the waterfall on the backside, like as you're going back Anyway, there's a second waterfall that's just kind of like scenic, but sometimes the cart or the boat gets stopped.
The boats tend to get backed up right at that point after the drop, and then you're just like next to the waterfall getting wet.
Stuck there for 2 minutes and it just.
But yeah, common sense shoes. Wear comfortable shoes that are well broken in, but still have shock absorption. I made that mistake. I wore shoes to Epcot on our last trip. They were way too broken in, and they didn't have enough shock left, and that was sort of we had to cut it short that day. But that's okay. We had a nice meal later, and we got to relax at the hotel a little earlier than we had anticipated. But yeah, definitely know that it rains a lot in Florida. That's something that they don't really advertise, but it's true. The good news is if it does rain, it's over in like 15-30 minutes tops. So a lot of people will vacate the park when it starts raining. If you stick it out, that's a great time to go hit the rides after, because the lines are really short because the park super clears out after it rains. Okay, so number 5 is strollers. So Leanna had actually asked me about this. Strollers, they rent you strollers there. I hear it's very expensive though. So I heard someone had a little hack of they will just go buy a stroller when they get there, or have it like shipped to their hotel. I guess you can have things shipped to your hotel like a week in advance of your stay, and they'll hold it for you. But anyway, some people will just maybe go to a thrift store or buy like a cheap, what's that called? Umbrella? Those umbrella strollers?
I don't know.
And then they'll donate it at the end because it's actually cheaper than renting a stroller every day. You can bring your own stroller. There might be rules about that I'm not aware of. But there's stroller parking all over. So you can just park your stroller and go on the rides. So that was a concern for her. I wouldn't have thought of it on my own, but there you go. So that's covered. So chargers. So they do have these fuel rods that they sell at Disney World. They're like $30. And then you can use it up to charge your phones, devices, whatever. And then when it's dead, you can pop it in the machine and it'll give you a fresh charged one. Apparently, there's fuel rods sold elsewhere, not in Disney World. I guess they're $20, and they're compatible with the ones that they sell at Disney World, so you may want to look into that. Bring your charger with you.
Yeah, because the app will kill your phone.
Or if you're like us that have a bunch of devices with you, and it's just, we have our own. Thomas brings our own
I bring
portable.
all the chargers and everything. Yeah, I have the portable battery packs that are $10-15 on Amazon or whatever, and they last for like the whole day. And,
Yeah, that's what we use. Also, I noticed on our last trip that there's a lot of USB ports now just in like little sitting areas so that you can plug in. So you may not even bring both your cord and your plug, but you probably might not even use your plug now because there's a lot of USB ports. Other things that you can bring with you that people are not aware of is you can bring your own food. You can bring a little cooler and put snacks in there, or if you have medications or formula or whatever, you can bring that with you. The rules for that are online. It's a pretty good size, I think it's like around the size of a carry-on of what you're allowed to bring in. But again, go ahead and check the website to make sure you have the right dimensions. Also, there's free water. So you can either bring an empty water bottle with you and you can refill at the stations, or they have little cups ready. If you're just hot and thirsty, you don't have to buy water. They have free water. Anywhere that they have a soda fountain, you can go and ask for free water. They'll have it ready. They'll just hand it to you, or you can fill your bottle. Merch. So, leave some room in your suitcase. I didn't do that this last trip, and I actually ended up leaving my teacup at my parents' house because I couldn't fit it in my suitcase. And I even had to leave some clothes behind at my mom's house. So, we're from Florida, so we have that option, but maybe you don't. So leave some room in your suitcase. You don't want to have to buy another suitcase. But another tip for merch is if you have the means to if you have a car or something to get out of property, there's a lot of discount stores. Not only are there the Disney warehouse stores where they have real park merchandise for way cheap, really close. There's also like other discount purveyors that you can get some cheaper merch. Obviously, if you see something in the park that you have to have, of course, no, I get that. But it's nice to know that you have some other options. As far as the photos are concerned, so Disney sells a Photopass that's very expensive. And you're going to see those photographers that are set up at all the good places. I hear that they will take a picture with your camera for you for free. If you do have an annual pass holder and it's included, then the Photopass is great because all those rides that take your picture, we'll get to magic bands later for the people that are staying at the resort, but you can tap your magic band and it all just goes straight to your account. But I'm not really sure how they do that anymore. Like if you wanted to purchase a picture off of a Splash Mountain, for example, and you don't have a magic band. Sorry, I didn't look that up. I meant to. So this is fun. Okay, so you're getting to the park, right? This is your first visit. You can either, if you're staying at the hotel, go to at check-in, or I've not done it that way, or when you get to the park, you can go to guest services, and you can get a free first visit pin, or if you're there celebrating a birthday, we did it for one of our anniversaries. You can get I'm celebrating my anniversary pin and write your name on it.
You can see it in our Drinking Around the World video.
And it's really fun, and I hear if it's your first visit, like it's even extra special, especially if you have little kids or whatever. Just people go out of their way, and even like park guests, not just cast members, like everybody's saying happy anniversary, happy birthday, or whatever, just trying to make your day a little more special. And that's completely free. So just right when you get to the park, go to guest services. It's right by where you walk in, and go get your pins. So those are nice, the celebration pins. Number 11, single rider and switch pass. So for some of the thrill rides, they have these options because not everyone in your party is going to be able to ride the same rides, for various medical, height, motion sickness, what have you. So they do have single rider for the Everest ride in Animal Kingdom, where just, if you're the only person in your family, you can just go and you get in real quick, and that way nobody has to stand in line with you the whole way, and then, you're the only one going. Or they also have a switch pass, where if it's a parent can take a kid while the other half of the family waits, and then I guess the cast member will give you essentially what's like a fast pass. Basically, it's called a switch pass. We haven't done this, but then when your first family members come off, then you jump in the fast pass line, and then you can go without the family having to wait in line twice. And so it can kind of work out if it's a ride where it's like 2 people can go on, then maybe one of you can go on twice. Okay, number 12, fatigue. You will get tired. If you're the type of family that is going to be there at rope drop at the beginning of the morning and want to do all these things and also wants to stay and see all the parades and the fireworks and everything, it's going to be make for a very, very long day. So one of the things that's suggested for people in that particular is going back to the hotel and taking a break. Having lunch at the hotel. If you have small children, have them have a nap. Go in the pool, especially if it's the summer, because like the middle of the day, it's very, very unbearably hot. That middle of the daytime maybe is a good time to save those rides where you know that the line is air conditioned and inside where you're away from beating down heat, like Space Mountain. That's a good one to go escape to if it's really, really hot outside, because all the lines inside, and you can be in there for a long time getting some air conditioning.
And they have games along the way.
Yeah, they've made the queue really fun. Yeah. Where I would say don't do Thunder Mountain, because even though it is covered, you're outside the whole time, and that can get very, very hot, even though they have made the queue more exciting.
The humidity is not forgiving at all.
Yeah, I definitely would recommend Space Mountain over that one. Or even, well, actually Splash Mountain's kind of, it depends. If the line's really long in the summer, you can be outside for part of it. Go to Space Mountain. But yeah, this last trip, I got really, really tired at the end, and Thomas had this brilliant idea. We were in Frontierland, and we just wanted to go home, and the crowds get really, really thick by the main street in the front of the park at the end of the night for Magic Kingdom. And he was like, why don't we just take the train back to the front? And I was like, oh, this is a brilliant idea. And that was so lovely. And then you got like the nice little breeze going back, and it's kind of like its own little ride. There's like a narrative, and it's cute.
We didn't get to see a lot of it because it got dark really quickly, but we saw some of it on the way.
Another tip that I read is that you can, I'm not into crowds so much. I never really watched the fireworks, like where the crowds are. But I read this thing that if you go to where Dumbo is, you can watch the fireworks there, and it's actually a really good spot, and there's not really big crowds. So there's a little tip. If you're tired and cranky and you just want to watch fireworks in peace, maybe that's a good spot for you to go. But
was that the Fairy Tale Circus area?
Yes. Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe try that. We always just use the fireworks time to go on the rides.
Yeah.
Because nobody's in line.
Because everybody's out on Main Street.
So, like, that's probably a good time to go hit that 7 Doors Mine Train if you didn't get to do it earlier in the day. So, number 13 is actually all about resorts. So, I left this for last because it doesn't pertain to everybody. But there are a lot of perks to staying at the resort. There's different tiers of resorts. So, they have the All-Stars. That's the first economy tier. And they have some really good deals. Right now, I know that there's like a lot of specials that are in the $90 range-ish. It just depends. They're always having different promotions. So you may just want to check on the website, and check the different offers. I was just doing this last night because we are planning our trip for late summer. And even between the offers that they're offering at the exact same time, there are some variations where, depending on what kind of room you want, it'll make or break you, maybe even $300. So it's worth trying different things out. Or if you want help, there's a number of people that will help you with your planning, that will do it for you, and you don't have to pay them anything. So I was going to do some shout outs at the end to different vloggers that we think are helpful for your planning. But if you do want to have help, I know Melissa from Method to the Magic is a vacation planner, and she's wonderful. We've never used her for vacation planning, but she seems like a very wonderful person, and we haven't met them in person yet, but I know that that's one of the things that she does. Also, we follow the Diz Unplugged, and they have unlimited travel, and they've been doing this for, I don't know, what is it, like 20 years or whatever?
Yeah, Dreams Unlimited.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll put all the links down there, but they can also help you with the planning. But if you can stay at the resort, some of the perks are... I'm going to let Thomas just lead with the resort mug, because if you do stay at the resort on your very first day that you're there, if you are getting a resort mug, you should do it the second you get there, because...
Yeah, you basically, it's $18 and you get free refills on coffee, soda, hot chocolate, whatever they have that you have to buy, you have to purchase in the food courts at, you know, whatever resort you're staying at. It's totally worth it because, yeah, that adds up pretty quickly, especially if you drink a lot of coffee or a lot of soda or
They
whatever.
have, like, I don't know, like 20-something different kinds of soda available.
Yeah, and it's activated throughout the duration of your stay, and when you're done, you could take it with you and just use it as a regular travel mug. It's insulated, fits in car cup holder things.
He loves his mug.
Yeah.
Like, when we came to New York, like, we just brought a few things with us. He brought the mug. So, as I had mentioned earlier, you can book your fast passes a whole month ahead of people that don't stay at the hotel. That's a huge perk. They'll send you free magic bands when you book your hotel, which you probably see people in the parks with their... I don't have them handy, but that becomes your hotel room key. It's how you can get in and out of your hotel room. We never check in at the front desk. They text me when the room's ready, and we just walk up to our room and just use our magic bands to get in. When you're in the parks, your credit card's tied to it, so every time you want to buy something or, you know, eating or whatever, you can just tap your magic band. Very convenient.
Yeah, you tap your magic band and you put in your PIN. So, like, if somebody were to you know, pick up your band,
they can't just use it to charge stuff. Yeah.
So there is a level of security to it. That's nice.
It's your park admission. You get in the park with it. The fast passes.
Yeah.
That's when you go to the fast pass line. That's how you get in there.
And with the Photopass, when you get off the ride, you tap it on, like, there's like a wall of
Where they show the
video
picture
screens where
reveal.
they show the pictures, and you tap your magic band when you see your picture, and yeah, it links it to your account. It's pretty cool.
Also, if you're flying in just for this trip and you plan to just be at Disney World the entire time, there's no need to rent a car. There's the free Magical Express that picks you up at the airport, takes you to your hotel, and then at the end, it'll take you back to the airport.
It was so nice.
That's a huge savings if you are only planning to just be at Disney World. It's hard for us sometimes because Thomas is from Central Florida, so like we'll need a car to like go visit family or whatever. But if it's a trip where we can just sneak down or somehow make the use of that, we've done it a number of different ways. It's so nice that it's free and it's offered because Orlando Airport is quite far away from Disney World. People think Disney's in Orlando. It's not. It's in Lake Buena Vista. It's a little bit of a hike, so getting that free transport is nice.
Yeah, the drive could be close to an hour, if not more, depending on traffic.
Yeah.
So.
If you are driving, they are charging resort parking now, and I guess it depends on which resort you're staying at, which tier. So it's cheaper at the economy resorts, and then it goes up with the moderate, deluxe, or whatever what they're charging. But it seems like it's between $13 and $20, maybe $22, something like that. But you don't have to pay for parking at the park if you're driving from your resort to the park, I guess. So there's still that perk. You can just use the buses. That's one of the beautiful things. So like, you fly in, you get Magical Express to the hotel. Now you can use all the Disney transportation. They have buses that run from everywhere, depending on where you're staying. There's a few of the deluxe that have the monorail that will take you to, you know, you can hop on the monorail or go to the Magic Kingdom or Epcot or whatever. But the buses will take you anywhere you need to go. Disney Springs, some of the resorts have boats that'll take you to different places, either to Disney Springs or like Fort Wilderness, you know, it goes to Magic Kingdom. So the free transportation is great. Basically, you can get anywhere on Disney property with a bus. And then they have some other like Disney like fake Lyft or Uber kind of services now. I forget what it's called.
Minivan.
Yeah, it's like Minnie Mouse. Anyway, there's that too. We haven't used that, but that's there. The other thing that you can do if you're staying at the resort is, remember how we were talking about merch and carrying those packages all day is unnecessary if you're staying at the resort. As long as you're not checking out the next day, if you have like 2 days until your checkout, you can just send all your purchases from the parks to your hotel, and they'll have it all in one little parcel that you can pick up like the next day, which is really great because, like I was saying, the last time we were there, I got a teacup, and we have all this like camera gear, and I was worried it was going to get chipped or whatever in the bag, even though they did a beautiful job wrapping it. So beautiful, in fact, that the one teacup was like this big. Again, see what I'm saying about pick your purchases carefully and leave room in your bag? That's why I couldn't bring it, because it was like, wow, I don't even know. It's so much. But it definitely wasn't going to get damaged, so thank you. But it is nice to not have to carry your packages with you, especially if you're buying like plushes or whatever. Those things can get quite bulky quite fast. I think that's about it. So, like I was saying, we have some shout outs that we think are useful. If you're vegan like we are, Vegan Disney World, they have had a blog out for a long time that you can go and read and just put in park information, and it'll tell you like everything that's vegan to eat in the parks. They also just started a YouTube channel, which I was really excited to find yesterday. They have a couple videos up there right now, but if you're vegan at all, or you want to know about where there's vegetarian food options, if you're just trying to put a little less meat in your diet, go to vegandisneyworld.com. They are so extensive in everything that they've researched, blogged, guest posts, whatever. The Tim Tracker, I think everybody knows about the Tim Tracker that is like into Disney YouTube. The Tim Tracker has covered everything, and he is endlessly entertaining. Pretty much anything that you are curious about, he's covered. The resorts, everything. He's just so fun. Him and Jen are really fun to watch. So we'll have a link for that. Our friends Theme Park Brews, they just moved to Florida. They have a bunch of stuff. If you like drinking at Disney World, you may want to watch his channel. The Magic Geekdom, they're wonderful to watch. They're actually from the Pacific Northwest. So they were our Pacific Northwest Disney friends, YouTube friends. I'll leave a link for them. There's the Park Hop Bears. They kind of go everywhere, but they're more like Disneyland based. They're fun to watch. Like I was saying, Melissa from Method of the Magic. They're great. They're in the parks right now. Who am I not thinking of? I don't know. I've been on Twitter all week because I was procrastinating unpacking the apartment and working on the blog. And I've met so many people in the last week, and we've just started following their channels on YouTube. So thank you. It's so nice to meet you guys. I can't list everybody because there's just so many, but those are the ones that just come to mind first. Hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you have any questions at all, just go ahead and leave them down there in the comments. Of course, like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. We'd love to have you as a viewer, and we'll see you next week. Hope you have a magical trip.